So I'd love to spend the last part of our time together talking about our work together, talking about coaching. And you and I met at a conference, conference. And, what made you come up to me and say, I want to schedule a consultation with you? And what did you want to accomplish when we first started? Because we're still working together right now.
Yes.
So we have more work to do. But, when you first came up to me, what made you say, I want to meet with her, and what you were thinking that you wanted to accomplish when we first started?
Well, basically, because you were excited about what you were doing, I guess that I love
what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the first things. That's what I'm all about. If someone's doing something because they have to for the job, it's okay. It's okay. It's a job, but someone who's excited about what they're doing and loves what they're doing, I think we can work together. That's I guess that's what got my attention. And then the other thing of it I didn't realize I needed a coach, or I didn't think I needed a coach, but I realized that I myself am kind of slipping into a kind of a rut of comfortable, I'm in a comfortable spot with the business, but there's still so much potential and it could be so much more. I just didn't really know if I had it. I needed to kind of figure out what I want to do, which way I want to go. And I needed somebody to kind of help me talk through that, I guess, and figure out what I wanted to do. And I think I made a very good choice.
Yeah. Well, that's good feedback.
Yeah. I'm much more excited about my business than I was when I started. When you started.
Good. I have another client, the same thing. Like, she was very, very much questioning what she was doing. She'd been doing it for 10 years. And after working with her for 4 months, she's like, I feel so much more energized about what I'm doing now. And so I love hearing that from people. I felt that too when I first started. And that was my hope, that I would, be able to do that for you. And I appreciate you also sharing, what you were thinking in terms of what you wanted, because sometimes people want coaching to fix problems.
Yeah.
Right. And people who misunderstand what I do, I'm not, as much as I can help with conflict resolution and problem solving, very much. I do it a lot. At the same time, it's not really what I do. I don't just put out fires. I don't duct tape things. This is about creating a vision and getting ahead of it, and really getting clear about that, getting aligned to it. What changes do you have to make about yourself, about how you're approaching things? So, sometimes it's problem solving and fixing things. And sometimes it's, hey, wait a second, I see potential. I know there's potential. I've gotten to where I am. Maybe you've tried other things to go beyond that, but you hit a plateau and now you're ready for something next, but you don't know how to get there. And it can be helpful to have a coach, someone objective, to help you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk through some of the stuff that I didn't, like I said, it was still, before we started my business, I was very comfortable with my business, too comfortable. Right. But I wasn't jumping out of bed in the morning trying to figure out how to, where can I go from here? It's like, yeah, this is great. We'll do this. But I just knew there could be so much more. And I wasn't really driven to just go seize it and take it. But that's changed. So I'm more pumped about where I could go and, the places we could take this business. There's so much potential there.
So much. Yeah. Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So how has coaching so far impacted your business and your personal life?
It very well. I have a plan. So I think don't remember, did I tell you this? I think I did early on, that in my mind, I always kind of think of it as a log jam. There's plenty of room for the logs.
Yes, I love that metaphor. Yeah. Continue. Share it. I think it's a great one. Yeah.
So there's the logs floating down the river, and there's plenty of room for all these logs to easily fit down the river, but they're jammed right now. They're not getting through, and now they're backing up and nothing's getting through. And I just need some help getting these logs to turn and go in a straight way. And now that is starting to happen, there's room for many more logs to go down the river than what there were. So I don't know if that metaphor works, but I like it. So
I
that
think it's a
analogy
great one.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a great one. And so would you say that is applicable to both your work, like professionally and personally?
Yes. On the personal side, yeah, my health and my fitness, that was something I kind of didn't realize until I kind of have been slowly becoming aware of the fact that in the last several years, I'm doing less physical work and also having more birthdays, which kind of tends to work
We all
against you,
do.
Yeah,
Yep.
hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But,
Hopefully, right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is the other thing that I've become much more in tune with, and I'm getting back on top of trying to get back into shape. And I think I'm very excited about my future there as well. So
Good. Yeah.
that was the bonus that I really wasn't counting on.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, well, I don't know what people are thinking out there, especially those that have never worked with a coach before in this way. But, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So I love that, the whole conversation about health, mindset, work-life balance comes up a lot. I mean, granted, I work with business owners and more senior leaders in corporations. So they're usually of a certain age or age range, right? And myself included, and we get to a place where it's like, wait a second, I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and that I've got the energy to do everything that I want to do and be a model for others and lead others, and still, there's still much more I want to do, right? It's the potential. So it's like, well, what changes do you need to make in your life from that perspective, in terms of mindset, physicality, health, wellness, all of it. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you be there for other people and be at your best?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, this hasn't come up where I'm also involved in the local volunteer fire department.
Yes.
And one of the things that we train in every incident is that the first thing you have to do is to protect yourself. Scene safety is one of the first things we do when we come up on a scene. And the reason for that is you're there to help other people. You're not there to create an additional victim for your fellow firefighters to be bogged down with. So, and you can apply that in every other area of your life. If you're helping people, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yep.
They teach you that when they go through in the pre-flight or during the flight, the whole.
Yes, the oxygen. Yeah. Put your oxygen on first.
Put your own on first.
Yep.
Yep. You're not going to be able to help anyone else until you are able to do it. So
absolutely.
Good thing to keep in mind.
So what's something that has been unexpected that you've gained from coaching that you didn't anticipate?
I think actually back to my health, I think that is the biggest and also I wasn't really expecting to get a new level of excitement about the company that I'm getting. So that was kind of I was just looking for some direction, I think, kind of some answer, someone to help me sort through the how I want to take this, which way to go with it, whether I want to, take it to another level or just keep going with things the way they are. And didn't really expect to be excited about, as excited about taking it to new levels. So that was also a nice surprise. But I think my biggest bonus was the fact that I got a whole new level of health, interested in my health or my physical well-being. It was an unexpected bonus. So
good. Well, and I appreciate. I hope it's okay that I share this, but I appreciated your honesty when you and I were doing our consultation to see if we even were going to work together. And you said to me, I used to scoff at people that would hire business coaches, and you're like, now I think I'm seeing the value.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah.
It's still not one for spending all day in meetings and plans and charts and whatever. I'm still I'm not totally changing my view. I have to maintain a little level of, I wasn't wrong. I can't admit to be, but yes, I was wrong about getting help. A lot of times we don't know what we don't know.
Yes. And I say that all
the
time.
We're in our own comfortable little bubble that everything's working fine. And sometimes it just takes a little nudge and someone with some fresh ideas and some experience in areas that I don't have, like your experience with other businesses. And, you've seen a lot of business things that I've not seen, don't know about. And that is very valuable information, very valuable ideas, so yeah, I'm no longer a scoffer in coaches.
Good. I'm glad I was able to change that for you.
Yeah.
So how do you see the changes that we've worked on together so far? Because, we have more work to do, affecting your goals in the long run.
Yeah, well, I'm now planning on taking my business to the next level and trying to expand. And that is, my goal is for an expansion. Whereas before, my goal was just to improve a little bit on what I'm doing with what I've got now. And I'd like to add some more crews, and which is going to take a little bit more in management and some, just take it to a different level and see where it goes there as more people come in helping me in what I do now. I think the key is to surround myself with good people.
Yes.
I can't do everything.
Nope.
And I just need to know people who can, as they say. And I think the challenge is, as I see other companies growing, other businesses growing, a lot of times with their growth, they end up losing what got them there in the first place. And I see that as being a challenge that we're going to have to find a way to make sure we don't fall into that. And everyone wants to become more efficient, more streamlined, and more profitable. And that's certainly always going to be a goal of ours, but we have to make sure we don't lose sight of the quality that got us where we're at now, because that's what made us successful, is quality, hands down. That starting to reap the rewards of what took years to build. And I can see that as being something that could be lost if we're not careful.
Yeah. So one of the workshops I've done in my past corporate life on that is origin story. It's like, even within a team, say in a larger corporation, to understand the origin story of that team so that they can connect with that. And then that's also where values and culture comes in. And because, if you aren't intentional about it, it's going to get created by default.
Yeah.
Right. And then is it going to end up being what you want it to be, or is it going to be so far off from what you originally created, or that initial, your original why, or the quality that you're talking about, the type of customer service that you provide, making sure that those things get maintained as you grow. And there's ways to do all of that. And then, I can talk about that too, but I appreciate you saying that. And it's important to think about as business owners and wanting to grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Your story is going to be told by someone, for sure.
Right.
And like you said, if you don't do it, someone will do it on their terms.
Right. Yeah. And guiding that. Right. So
yeah.
What would you say to other entrepreneurs who may feel stuck or are considering coaching for similar reasons, or maybe different reasons, but what would you say to them about
this? Absolutely. Give it a try. Get started, and if you don't like it, leave it at that, but give it a try. And you don't know what you don't know until someone helps you with some new ideas. Just sometimes just the smallest little idea will spark a new idea. And then I love how we bounce ideas off of each other sometimes. I mention something and that gives you an idea of this, and I'm like, well, yeah, and then we could add to that or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. That's I would recommend it, especially if you're not 100% sure of where you're going or even what you're wanting to do or whatever. This made a big difference for me.
Nice. I appreciate that. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that would be good to share with people who are considering coaching or working with me?
Yeah, I would say you're very, very easy to work with. That is, professional is great, but professional doesn't always have to be stiff and formal, and it's So I very much enjoyed our sessions, and your ideas are great. I mean, that's also a lot of cool. Also, the difference in culture, I think that's helpful. For like a lot of times you're looking for someone who's like you are. Like I grew up Amish, so it would be helpful if I had someone who also grew up Amish. But in this case, for this, I think our differences actually is a good differences in culture. Is a good thing for me because it brings ideas that haven't considered a lot of times.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, it certainly would work if we were from the same place as well. But I think that's an interesting twist to what we're doing here. So,
well, those are I love what I do overall, but those are some of the more fun conversations I get to have with clients is the brainstorming, right? Like the back and forth, like we just, we feed off of each other, we build off of that. And then it ends up in a really fun place that maybe neither of us would have been able to foresee or know it from the get-go, or with intuition, or like, well, this is where I think it's going, but let's explore this and see where it goes. And we might end up in that place, but we might not, Yeah.
And the fact that you love what you do, like that is, I think anything in any job, any culture, whatever, or any vocation, I guess, any industry or whatever the word is I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
But if you love what you're doing, you can't help but succeed, And I mean, even if you're not making money, at least you're having fun, right?
But we want to make money too. I mean, come on.
We want to make money too. Yeah. But in the rare occasion when someone does something just purely for the love of it, there's an old country song Charlie Pride used to sing. I think of my dad when I hear it. It's called, I think it's the name of the song, Just for the Love of It. But it's about his dad was a farmer. He went out and he planted seeds in the ground, to grow crops, and didn't do it for fortune or fame. And he did it just for the love of it. So, anyway.
I love it. Now I want to go.
Another bunny trail.
Yeah. I'll have to go find that song.
Charlie Pride. Are you familiar with Charlie Pride? Or?
I'm not. Yeah.
He's got a deep, deep bass country voice. And he was, I think, probably the first Black country singer back, from the 70s and 80s, I think.
Okay.
But it's country, strong country.
Yep.
Just a solid voice and got good music. But that was with me growing up Amish, the first type of music that I listened to was country after I got to listen to music on my forbidden radio and stuff like that.
What's funny about that is growing up, my parents especially still love country music. And then my sisters also liked it. I hated it, but now, but I've obviously I've evolved and grown a bit, and opened up my world to other ways.
Yeah.
But now I find it interesting because I'm listening to it differently than I did when I was younger, and I'm actually listening to the lyrics and the story that's being told. And I think country music is very much that, and is lost, I think, in the realm of music. And I think maybe that's one of the other reasons why I'm now more drawn to it now. It's hilarious.
Yeah. That was, music has changed a lot over the years, but it's interesting how there's music I listen to today that I would have never considered had it not been for my children, that they, and my peers, once I left. So backing up a little bit, as an Amish kid, I would sneak a radio. Occasionally I would go buy a radio, get together $10 and buy a radio. And then I would listen to the radio until it got caught and confiscated. Then I didn't have a radio anymore. But that was all I would listen to was country music of the time. This was in the 80s. The country of the 80s wasn't really it was more of a kind of a pop country type music at the time,
Yeah.
But so it wasn't the old Hank Williams kind of stuff, which I love now. But then after I left and started hanging out with other friends, it was, the 80s hair bands and that kind of, went from country to rock and roll and more.
Yeah. I love the 80s and 90s music. That could be a whole other conversation we can have. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the real stuff back then.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, thank you so much, Ed, for this whole conversation and sharing so much with me and sharing so much with those that are going to watch this. And I hope this gives people also a sense of the kind of relationship that gets created between a client and a coach, and when you find the right fit, that having the right fit, because I'm not going to be the right fit for everybody. Not everybody's going to appreciate my style or the way that I work, and they're going to need something different. And there's a coach out there for that, right?
Yes.
But hopefully this gives people a sense of the kind of relationship that gets created and the importance of that, like immediately building rapport and trust, so that we can have those fun, open, brainstorming, sometimes deeper conversations about things to help you and your business, and help both you and your business and your crew, your team grow. So that's what lights me up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the best part of, working with people, interact. That's why I always say the last thing I want to give up in this business, because I'm delegating a lot of my stuff, right? And the last thing that one thing I'm going to hang on to for as long as I can is the sales and the customer relations part of it. That is the best part of it, is to go and create, help the customer, work with them to create a project or come up with a plan or whatever, and then to see it through and watch it be successful.
Absolutely.
Working with people in that way, that it's the people is what makes everything worth it.
You're speaking my language, Ed. You're speaking my language. Yeah.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
I think that's probably why it works so well for us.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, thank you. This is such a pleasure. I'm looking forward to sharing this out there. So any other last comments before we say goodbye?
No, not that I can think of. I really appreciate everything you're doing to help me in my business. And hopefully this has been as enjoyable for you as it was for me, because I enjoyed this conversation. Not really getting into the business, for a change, which is not a bad thing either, but something a little different. It's always fun, and interacting with people. That's just the best part of it. So
absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. Good. All right. Thank you. And for those that were listening, hopefully you resonated with something from this, or got some good nuggets for yourself, or just learned some interesting things that you didn't know before. So thanks for listening. All right.
Thank you.